Right, we be akwaba sports arena braso say yebomode an yetran konya so na yede agudie mu nsem de bro na agudie mu nsem no we are in a week make catch us fireworks. I'm telling you, say fireworks. Ha, enye easy. Teams no aso Champions League afi road to Munich. Why energy? Is it going to be Barcelona? Is it going to be Dortmund? Is it going to be Real Madrid? Is it going to be Inter Milan? Is it going to be Paris Saint-Germain? Is it going to be Bobo Kwa Freno Real Madrid? Nyasem keto akra. And I know say teams be out teams on 9 bako AC the semi-finals of this year's UEFA Champions League nation so say a new format. This year's Champions League in a different class. I'm telling you. I know say pressure coach is so. I'm telling you, pressure coach is so. From now till the end of the season, certain coaches was so to me a pray for miracle. And yes, sir, Kwan Piasso no or masube to me. A coach is bang, you be room, na be to me a and PSG. After conceding the first goal, a branch a friendly deal. Small boy danger kwano e brutal. Can I understand? I feel Matia say I can now understand why not Chelsea, Bayern Munich, no mania brace omo pesa start Rennes a branch onimbo brutal. Can we say Bracola any Kicha Caratelli amunyina no position a branch any bone ho. Anna almost so for him to accept and join PSG, even though a year quality attackers no Chelsea no believe in himself, and indeed, and they were to put a year Bracola on the bench. Luis Enrique a Juma Obon and one them papa. Now people are saying Paris Saint-Germain can win this year's UEFA Champions League. How dramatic that will be. Mbappe ye bia want to me any PSG and Champions League. Free one no beja. The story will be fascinating, and that is football for you. The stories that comes out brilliant. Always be brilliant. The script always brilliant. So let's see how it will go. Barcelona and no name and easy. Borussia Dortmund last year's finalist. So 4-0 and a Nyamako ye Signal Duna Park next week and a return leg in a bed ever coso na ebe share the ever corner the ever bar and Martinez Emiliano Martinez Emil Martinez Usina Kandema Aston Villa Odru Paris no she chebini ade de koyi France for nehi koyi o mahia o kai say Argentina and France confusion kakra do montam from World Cup na niom kotututu nyumbi ni ade akwa ne ba no chese oba be yi keche ana France for ne say wo will deal with you abrantie deal ade oye Martinez na nyasem keto akra iti return leg ne be koso ewo Villa Park ebehwe de ebekwa kusi na bibia so etumeko ene Thursday night football onana ko kantokwa one Matic ana yes ni manja Matic akwa no fi Chelsea no Chelsea nya defensive midfielder papa bia bi say holding DM pa obi ani wo mo aka ne nyina ye dwane wo ball ni mu a jo defenders nanim Makelele musta ni bi no Chelsea ayed tempa akwa ne modern boy no kopie mu Man United 5 seasons and no Man United and no free ho kopie mu AS Roma ko G trophy ho aba ne ko Rennes and from Rennes wo mu video ko Lyon na oko press conference ase ahead of an game omo Man United be bon and an central for bisa ne say onana say mu team ne de nya team papa bia Matic emunu ya ne type so any onka can be nche onana na do so onana no oboda man na sebe wanom bibia na wafa bibi of medi wo bi a wo wasan goalkeepers aba Man United nyina wo na wasan pa die nti na wo nya no kan sanse mu no ti kage nsem sa ne ade a ti kopko na kopɛ ba bi tira na no ana Africa never carry last Cameroon no e take it to any Twitter on say chairman way get out of here on disrespect you bia lemu mo no e ne de say wotumi ene eye the biggest club in the world age trophy ti no person o kire say akwa we ba 5 years wotumi age trophy bia for Man United but no a wasan wotumi age trophy dia Man United ya ene chairman kana no ntum dia na banta no o matwa so na emom pitch ne so ene ye behwe say indeed why ena ne team no jana na so unfortunately next new man Siaka is say was suffer a cruciate ligament damage to Mobi but Ryan Sheik mo Malik Fofana mo ebe ye adwuma no e wo mfimfin ho no manya asem keto akra to liso mu nyina ho no ni manja match so ho tiene ye behwe e di besi e ho no Chelsea so e kwa kopie mo Ligia Warsaw na Ligia Warsaw for no di video bi abeto abonten masa enye fadi agro sa omo wono mo anti Chelsea coach ayefe no Maresca say odanyankopon asepa say players no omo watch Chelsea ane kwakọ experience such a match na kwa na asem no kan ni Chelsea supporters na Chelsea omo mpe na asem omo pese ye pamone ne de omo se ma no waboda ma na sebe na Chelsea big team and o kasa sa conference league yede an luwe a o ye sana Ligia Warsaw for the say o atmosphere no the whole world atmosphere bien we ye hostile et say Ligia Warsaw for home na say o so mani bria o mutumi so flyers o mutumi obia so bi na hot te say sabonsam say ukọ with that Mohammed V Stadium and on a half pack and a omo yesa yesi we the VVIP one omo ni break say Chelsea match omo ni abria omo ni bria say no VVIP one nyina support bi obebe bia omo ma obi na omo so ne wa yekumonti o players ne corner so omo ni evem a omo na ntem be woso na Chelsea team no nkola wo de toso tie Maresca kiremu a good set players no benya salak just to experience a hostile atmosphere like that because so who experiences it means that obetima ko Signal Iduna Park obetima ko Anfield obetima ko other venues as a hono heavy kakra no enti sa na ho ensema Maresca can about we no na video no enya sem ketu akra na o se metumi download pa na nka me de masaka na o de to so na nko obi ahu senia the air can because I'm telling you say atmosphere na nye easy na I say almost say ne kwan bia so omo beka Chelsea eto omo beka Chelsea to ho no ma omo man kra no mehunahuna kra no pap because na Tarek George money ade na ede be bona yes omo tumi afa ho na omo tumi aden ahye Chelsea ho no nti this is Chelsea game no so ho sensem yeti be wram anei yes I was say yetumi wram na afei yetumi explaining na afei nyama etumi de ekoye utumi say yes enyasam keto akra ho no Real Betis wo match ne Tottenham Hotspur wo match ne enti ye de game no hu susanso nyina be den ebe bro na bebia so no atumi akoye endra Ansu Fati aw me hu nam or a player metuma ka say me dwabasa papa but a player na ne story na me ya papa say akola we so to me carry a team like Barca and this thing kon immediately after like no Messi fi ho na akola we for team ne so why e bogo na injuries abi disturb your branch and can imagine say Ansu Fati that left side na abrantia ye friend no Lamine at that right chairman na Dani Olmo gina omachi Gavi ne Pedri we one na Kubasi su gina kirewa ne fe academy baako badi so ho Araju ni omu nyina academy baako ka how lovely that would be Andrew wonya some minute boy eno na take some level of discussion amount for ka so many age e de ama abrantie no ho no abia fa mama kwaba
Yeah, let's do it,
Yeah,
Joseph.
let's do it, Joseph.
Now, clear, we are getting our semi final teams. Is it clear? And I say there are still twists and turns in the return leg because there was all kinds of way away goal run there and yeah duma and he said wako ako show be 4 or no show 4 and I say even 5-1 krana a draw. So let's go into a endra games na fe yenhwe.
Yes, I think these two Andrea games need with the Barcelona Dortmund game now. I did not be expecting, because Andrea Beckham have to say I'm seeing the game to be a scoreline of 4-1, 4-2 for Barcelona. Now I think Dortmund with record of Mukitawa we say anytime on the ball UEFA Champions League game be this season or kwa we be any day and go back with me at the 20 opponent pool. Ushe Indra with both teams. Yes, Dortmund created enough chances and nine cases at least almost one goal. Created 3 big chances. With 3 big chances, may say all those 3 big chances. Indro be or share ball and be who say I think this Champions League who grassy ball, but this was one of his worst days playing for Dortmund, especially in the Champions League. When you have 2 clear chances now on any day, I don't think so grassy ever may see those chances, but now in football, but I think Barcelona a team there. Yeah, can't the Paris Saint-Germain, the Inter Milan, Arsenal's more ball, but Barcelona team no ball no nyame nim no krani eya anu eden ye papa because in dry ball lineup ne so kakra wo ha hwe players na bi ombetimi start ama Barcelona any also players ombetimi start ama Dortmund hwe Barcelona side na omu team no omu kuta academy players of up to 5 e starting lineup no na a team no omu kuta no hwe average age kuta o ma the average age Barcelona team no 26.4. So meaning say almost they one of the youngest teams ever into the Champions League. Ushe Chesney with experience Ukuta at the age of 34 years. Now with free retirement about to help this Barcelona team with injury about with Testegen. Our Babeshe team any Minjin this Barcelona fan Biampo a check time at Testegen go better than manaba because Chesney and Fiti build so well to the extent say performance or damage, I think Ubisa Barcelona fan we Rebecca say we will pick Chesney over Testegen and team with Femi Lopez, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Pedri, and Frankie De Jong. The partnership will make me build a front line and the Barcelona those are mobile high line with Hansi Flick down. But after the high line, we'll make sure say anytime you lose the ball within the next 5 to 10 seconds, ball in the same field, and that is one thing that makes them one of the most exciting teams in Europe in recent times. Because one thing about Barcelona team they say with pace, baby too, or the high line best stop is how sharp attacks. No make sure the ball be do time in point dream or ball. So in the second half, the mistake Niko Kovac was to try and we play the same high line and Barcelona ball. In Tindra, we say within the first half there was just a 1 goal for Barcelona, even though they created a lot of chances. Kobel also imposed and Adrian said he wouldn't let Barcelona get that goal, and they a lot of saves to make sure say they would resist Lamine Yamal and Lewandowski from scoring in the first half. But in the second half, Niko Kovac and Adrian said, okay, we should also hit them and make sure we push them up front. In Tindra, in the second half, we be game we say game ni bejina mfimfini na ebejina mfimfini the only problem they say with Chukwuemeka any Emeka omuntimi Frankie De Jong any Pedri, especially when it comes to finding spaces and giving accurate passes. Indra Oshe Pedri accurate passes or boy and the total passes or my game was 62, accurate 56, but that is 90% rate or accurate passes or my Oshe Obiti say Chukwuemeka okay Chukwuemeka so accurate passes or my 27 and they move 23 and it's me we are accurate. Intuition between these two players Obima 60 something, no Obima 27. Meaning it's a time when I do so pushy high line. No more battle on Finfin. It was something that it killed the game for Dortmund. And who say in the second half, Barcelona to me 3 crucial goals. We share all the goals on team share. It was more of a counter play from quick midfielders to find their forward lines and they Barcelona team ni koye. You know, after the game there were a whole lot of conversations about Barcelona team where how can this team be stopped and how can a team break the high line of Barcelona. Team drama mutie commentary I was saying it's one game I would wish to see in the semi-final. NABR in the semi-final, we'll see that game will be Barcelona against Inter Milan, because Inter Milan is apparently one of the best defense in the Champions League, conceding just 3 goals in all the Champions League. Until they will meet this Barcelona attacker, they are also scoring at least 3 goals per game. That will be one game to watch in the semi-finals. A bit me about so, but I think with 4-0 in Spain, I think it's a done deal, because Ewo Signal Iduna, I'm not sure Dortmund can close their back line and make sure that Barcelona team where they are averaging at least 3 goals per game. Intimisha one goal, Ewo Signal Iduna. So it will be a very difficult game for Dortmund. That game, no, Dortmund, I don't know where they need to pass. But some person will qualify, meaning in the first half, no, they need to equalize all these 4 goals. Then in the second half, the yellow wall would come and help them to make sure that they will qualify ahead of Barcelona. But I don't see them doing that. So I think Barcelona there, send the AB can say team back or 9 back or maybe the semi-final. Meet me, I can say nee, Barcelona there, the 9 million semi-final. They will be waiting for either Bayern Munich or Inter Milan to join them in that semi-final. I think Lewandowski, Rafinha, these are 2 players. I know there are being talks about Ballon d'Or for Rafinha. And in Drano, after the game, he came to apologize for Kubasi ball. Now he touched it. But I think as a player, you are chasing awards, you are chasing medals. No, with the Cristiano Ronaldo's, with the Messi's, no, this were a moment they pick any chance being given to them. In TNA, he has 12 goals in the Champions League with 7 assists in 11 games. Into why 19 goal contribution in 11 games. And they, so Barcelona to me were the semi-final, it me were the final, it me the Champions League. Esanje Copa del Rey, Esanje La Liga and Kahua. He'll be one of the names in the Ballon d'Or chase. So he getting all those goals, he getting all those chances, and making sure that his contribution into this team is being important. Going forward, says our Ballon d'Or beat me. I think Barcelona fan be anybody say after Messi, no, we Rafinha beat me him. It's me that Ballon d'Or, and I think the Brazilians is anybody because the Ballon d'Or now museum for a longer time. Any world best now museum for a longer time. So Rafinha entry, will be something Omeni Ebeji will. But I don't think this will be a game. Dortmund can come back and eliminate Barcelona. With Paris Saint-Germain.
No, we cannot talk about Barcelona.
Yes.
Dortmund game without talking about
Lamine
Yamal.
Yes, I think.
How good is this guy? Have you seen a kid that this good? We also Messi. Time of Messi coming up. I think that the kid that blow everybody's mind. Messi.
Yeah.
In recent times, so we want close 16 years, 17 years. You know what? But at that time, Messi, Bano, there were already a team then. Now Barcelona had a solid team, a team and I had a so the pressure was not on him to perform every time, and he was even doing a cameo, like because Ronaldinho, the structure, everything,
Yeah.
But this is Barcelona team. They are trying to rebuild, and to rebuild a team around a 16-year-old, and he's not stopping. The kind of things he does with the ball, I think say he's better at his age than Lionel Messi.
At his age than Lionel Messi, I don't think he's better at his age.
In terms of impact,
yes.
What he has produced
in terms of
at age 17 or starting 16 at age 17. I think there's no be any.
A differentiating between Onene Messi is that this Barcelona team, some way somehow depends on him.
Yes.
To perform.
At that time, it wasn't.
Time, no, he had players to do it, but he could distinguish himself. Say, and these are games that Ronaldinho more or Eto'o more. They were the Xavis, the Iniestas, the Sergio Busquets to do all the jobs. But those times, no, still are out of all this crowd of big players, no, Messi still stands out. Though say yes, his level at what me do at the age of 17 and no day. We've seen players coming into this Barcelona team performing too well. Always in draw, I think during the game, na ade baako a mempa ibu na for Lamine Yamal is the prayer is that obetimi do the highest level in the world.
I think only injury can.
Yes, that's the only thing that obetimi I the unlimited boy because the composure playing at this stage. One thing I've studied about these young players coming up, Indra Dortmund with Gettins, with Uche Barcelona, with Lamine Yamal, with Kubasi, with Gavi, with these young players. Those times back in maybe 2010, 2012, say who's a young player is being introduced into Champions League games. You could see them shaking. But these young boys coming into these teams, you could see say they play like they are just playing with their friends. And one thing who say Kubasi can lead this Barcelona line, make sure at the age of 18, he's doing everything that you expect a well-grown defender says. So yeah, Lamine Yamal doing the same. The likes of maybe Yabebubo, Kopama, Mo, Saka, Mo, these young players coming in, they are fitting into the bill and making sure say they are carrying teams at a younger age. I think the performance, the goal or share, the touch, trying to get the ball, not ball now Rafinha Bomano. It was at a pace. As a professional player, so open so do outside food a slow ball. No one slow ball in here, you give the ball away to your opponent. But with me slow ball and level ball to the extent say he needs to just poke the ball into the net with share. And you name him say in football, as a ball in the chair, experience some type of play, experience some type of leveler. A bit baby, these are chances that you convert them without not thinking. By the age of 17, with me converted these chances without not even like breaking a sweat or thinking. That is one thing he has really done well. And in Paibun, I think yesterday he made a sign, said so free game. And after the game, Hansi Flick Becker said there is no injury issues, he's fit and he'll be able to play. Barcelona needs this boy so much, especially in the Champions League, especially in the La Liga, and also the likes of Rafinha, the likes of Lewandowski, Kubasi, all these young boys coming into this team. I think the only thing about Barcelona is one, they have a very young squad and they have an experienced coach who is leading this young squad, because mostly with a young squad and an experienced coach, things get to move better because we're implementing a style. Players because there's a head coach, but I think time Hansi Flick Ekobasano play a friend we Cassidy Mune Gavimu. There were comments say when they saw videos of Hansi Flick during his Germany World Cup times, I know 10 players. No some players have video no me sure. They knew said coach no banije. Uyepe ubechiro. And this has been something that with my install or now they are putting it on the pitch. If Barcelona team now during the start of the season now it do be a player back whom you could see say Inyama Jigu, but now they are building so well. Bench Mukuta, Ansu Fati, he was one of the potentials that we were looking at. Say he could come out and replace Lionel Messi, but with injuries, 18. I think with time, bit me adapt, bit me be one of the best. Maybe we could see an Ansu Fati, Lamine Yamal leading the line for Barcelona and getting all those goals. I think be a well Lamasi Academy, seeing these young boys doing this well, because when you say there is a goal that they can all move and achieve into this team. I think yesterday he was one of the players who completed a lot of dribbles in the game. Otimi share a goal at the age of 17. Players who made me share a goal at the age of 17. Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham, I think he's the third player. There is another player, but he's the third player to get that is a goal in the quarterfinals of the Champions League at the age of 17. I think the sky is his limit. The only thing they say as a player, you need to be motivated to make sure say ball now or ball. We need GB so meet me ball into match and also the injury sent me 13. Apart from that, next 2 years, next 3 years, so Timmy could have the same form with the Spanish national team also doing so well, with Barcelona also doing so well. I think Ballon d'Or you didn't beat me rim in the next coming years. With Aston Villa any Paris Saint-Germain game, I think it was a game I know BNM said there are two. There are two top coaches, two experienced top coaches when it comes to the Champions League, when it comes to European competitions, and in the team, these are two goalkeepers. Say world best goalkeepers. But maybe first four. These two goalkeepers, that is Martinez, and a friend is saying goalkeeper friend Donnarumma, and in the game, Indra Mebeka has said a midfield battle. between Neves, Vitinha, any Fabian Ruiz, any also McGinn, any maybe Telemann, any my friend is saying Kamara. This would be a very tough midfield battle. But in Dram can I say Telemann, a player be or start here. Do say he adds more to the game, or the energy, or need enough energy to be able to battle up in front, but ultimately finding those spaces and make sure say he could bring in an assist or a goal. And one thing that you could see him being introduced into the game. But apart from that, if say Unai Emery pursue battle the midfield three between Vitinha, Fabian Ruiz, any Neves, you would need a more robust type of midfield. Player be a friend of McGinn. One thing I like about him is he's like, never say he's like a machine. Obeko on and off, be a person could be an Obeko. I'm making sure say tackle be a so to me be a so to me in the game of meeting. Kamara is also the same thing, but I'll be who in the stature. Any more of a robust type of a midfielder, but he brings that energy into the midfield. In Dra, he was looking out for say if he is to put up these two, NHS only so timid will become one. He's more of a controller and a deliver, making sure say he finds those passes and make sure say they can get a goal. Drampa Telemans Ebe Muni got the assist for player friend Rogers to get the first goal against team I friend Paris Saint-Germain. But I think in the second half or in the lineup where Unai Emery had call into this game, I was a bit surprised. One, not seeing Asensio starting. Two, not seeing where friends and Watkins also starting. And we need to go into this thing deeply. Say, then they are Rashford Danedy in training sections. Coaches feel say he's a player who can play as a number 9. To me, I think Rashford is never a number 9 or never a striker in games. I didn't make us say he's more of a player. He likes to touch the wings, episode ball and take on players. Playing him as a number 9 mostly it limits his game. And we've seen said there are cup games that he played as a number 9. Ultimately finding him in good positions to score goals. Their last league game was as a number 9 to find a goal. But goals, 3 goals no they were goals they were running. Ultimately those running behind need to find. But playing as a number 9, he's back against the pole. Limiting the play here. In Indra, seeing him starting, seeing Ramsey starting was one of the things I was very, very surprised. I was thinking maybe with your friends Asensio and Oli Watkins should start because the PSG at the Bernardo any with your friends and Patrick and start here. You need a number 9 who can be very solid and find spaces in between them. I think Rashford starting was something Unai Emery going into the game.
I think it worked. They had the needed goal.
Yes,
but the defending, how to defend, being compact, because the plan was obviously we'll call PSG Homer. The plan is to try and soak the pressure, cut their supply because they don't use out and out strikers.
Yes,
so you need to ensure that you have a lot of players, especially in the 2 zone 14s, right? Then ensure that you have a player who can run. So perhaps the reason why we've seen him, we've never seen him play Rashford through the middle. The reason why maybe or just to ensure say when they soak the pressure, Rogers, they have a lot of pace compared to
Watkins.
Not even Watkins. Now Asensio. On the pace, I think the idea was to ensure say always to keep pressure and hit them on the break, which worked. They had the first goal. So Casa come bed and to manage game, not managing, especially Anka no more to me their first half, and the goal out of nothing came.
Yes, I think with what you are saying there, very valid. But I think going into games like this, if you have to soak pressure, to me, the lineup was a bit wrong, and the substitutions in the second half was worse.
Maybe
because I was looking at Paris Saint-Germain front three. They don't stand at a particular position; they rotate. In Tindrano, Ubuntu se Kvaratskhelia and I'm right on and I'm left on and I'm Finfi. Dembele and I'm right on and I'm left on and I'm Finfi. Similar to Desire Day doing the same thing. And until you need fullbacks, they have the instincts of playing as a fullback to be able to mark their wingers and make sure the positions they are being placed. When you say every time they are fullback, in the second half, the mistake was taking out Matthew Cash and bringing on Disasi. That was the biggest mistake Unai Emery on the night, and that was the mistake cost you on the game. The two goals Paris Saint-Germain in after the first half were all caused by Disasi, because Disasi is naturally a centre back. Minim Adeintia, we've seen game in game out, coaches are trying to play Disasi on the right back position. His ball recovery, especially on the right back, is not that good. His pace up front is not that good. Into bringing Disasi there in the first goal, you could see say time Kvaratskhelia anya ball on any day a fullback will try to alert the centre back and make sure so be call for that ball or be face Kvaratskhelia and the Kvaratskhelia train. But Disasi was tracking back and multimedia Kvaratskhelia era there's the 18-yard box, even getting to the 16-yard, and some tries are short. And also the third goal, time your friend is saying Dembele nya that ball. Kwanzaa was facing Dembele. Disasi was the one unya a clear view of Bibiana Mendes echo. So it's either says hopefully said maybe Kvaratskhelia was on the far end, and there was a player, maybe Dracula was on the far end, in 2% track you on a run. Then you alert Kwanzaa to watch the run of your friend saying Mendes. But he stood there and watched Mendes pass in between on the Kwanzaa and get that third goal. So I think Unai Emery, the changes in the lineup in the game. I think in the second leg, Villa Park, he needs to do a lot of things. This game, though is a 3-1, it's a 3-1 win for Paris Saint-Germain, but I think the game is still on the line. Now anything can happen at Villa Park. It depends on how he parades his lineup and make sure going into the game. Obebon home den etimi ayeden etimi atutu nyama ye. Make sure that is Paris Saint-Germain into team. I think this is one of the teams they are there. Everything they do is meant to happen. Position will be a big park so movement will be a no. They don't think twice in doing it, and that has been the greatest thing to happen to this team. So Osha Omo fullbacks now, they play more like they overlap, they invert, they come in as center backs, they invert to help the DMs and everything. They do it so well. Say I'd say automatium. Into say Undra during the game, we Hakimi ubehunu na we friend is saying desire day akulusi, then Hakimi a stretchy, a touching line mano. You could see Mendes coming in and helping Vitinha. You could see Mendes being as a third center back. Indra, see the place where Timiko shares go. You could see him overlapping and even inverting to be able to play us in those half spaces. Indra Timinya as go. And Indra, after the game, there were some videos going around that time with Luis Enrique Bayern on the playing style, especially going into at the start of the season. On one yes 5v5 and maybe 10v10 type of way your friend is saying system, especially during training. On one year 11v0 into the 11 players or no as like something like a referee. Into mobile ball no control, mobile ball could do the end mobile no matter starting. Into it's like everybody gets to find a space in the game. And you feel to be able to press. And now with that, during games you can still emulate the same thing during games, because a style of player when himself my J ball and make or obi attacking. So during game obi po press you don't even feel that pressure of the press, because what trying training na amanabwa. In Tindra you could see that thing happening. I think in the return leg, Villa Park, Unai Emery needs to work hard. And working hard, I want to see a midfield three of McGinn, Kamara, and Onana. A flat midfield three to battle that midfield three of Neves, Vitinha, and Fabian Luiz. And a front three of Oli Watkins, Rogers, and also Asensio. Because I think with this front three, they would add a lot to the game. It's a game and they are losing 2-0 already. So they need to open up and get Asensio, Oli Watkins, and also play a friend with Rogers on the ball to get them those decisive goals in the first half. Villa in the Champions League, they've been very solid in the second half, but this second half they were very, very poor. In draw game, I think one player they were missing enough was John Duran. In draw, if John Duran with the pace, with the ball striking, with the ability up front, and can beat me a bomb here, but I think going forward you need a number 9, a natural number 9 to be able to help you up front. Send your bit me a Patrick, any maybe Marquinhos or Bernard will be your best starting in that game. But I think it was a good game. Barcelona are already through. I think Paris Saint-Germain are 1 foot in the Champions League semi-final. Everything will depend on Villa support and also Unai Emery at the Villa Park in the second leg next week Tuesday.
Right. Yeah, sure now.
Yeah. Least to my Sanchez for you. I think that Enra you're witnessing a very nice Champions League game. And Washa this week Champions League games, at least only provided over 2.5 goals. It tells you how prolific the teams do the quarterfinals now. How prolific they are. List to started with Aston Villa and a PSG game no. Obeka Enra make actually say Aston Villa a team here. How they attack and the number of goals they concede and how they attack or more attack is centrally. Until 59% of Aston Villa for attack this season through the central part of the park, and most of them goals are conceding now through the central midfield. And me catch on say this game, if Aston Villa will be able to win this game, it means that among midfield no, it's going to be a midfield battle. They have to be able to make him stop it. Vitinha, Joao Neves, and Abrante Fabian Ruiz. And you see, Danny Deng now, if me as a Chelsea fan, me say it got to a time Thomas Tuchel free Chelsea no. Chelsea had the chance to sign either Hansi Flick or Luis Enrique. But they are still before the guys say these coaches they are not fit for the project they are coming to they are about to do. And you see listen, watch Luis Enrique. He's a Barcelona product. He's a almost the total football now and Johan Cruyff ebon. Nti is already jumadi no. Na say I can total football no. Tiki taka different from total football. So the Emma Pep Guardiola ebebe G din Emma Manfo say no, this guy is genius. And say he too a product of the Barcelona project. And people shouldn't forget say Jose Mourinho so a coach also suya and also suya that Barcelona total football. But you see obia coach bia on philosophy list or so who your coach. You will be more hard. They believe that the best way to defend is to attack. And there are some of the coaches who are the best way to media winning games say be defend all hands on deck. But the total football no, it requires a lot of energy. And if who players needing that energy now, it be affected. In this other kaya last season, before Mbappe ever free PSG no, there was a video now Luis Enrique and killing Mbappe pe. The video analysis room and I'm say baby I more video analyst that mean either a cinema or something like the more conference room. I screen can say or check killing Mbappe say Mbappe is the captain. He is the leader. And if they have to defend very well, if PSG is not going to concede a goal, Mbappe has to start pressing. Until they get one money back boy. He was saying that Mbappe also started pressing Ter Stegen, not started pressing Kubasi, because that is Barcelona. If they are starting any team, they are starting from the background or starting from a chain. Into this season, checking the teams are almost starting from a chain. Almost goalkeepers, there were a lot of errors leading to goal. One, Abrante and the Robert Sanchez. Who keeper bit say Alisson Becker. Who keeper bit say Edison Morales. So he mentioned say the first thing was Mbappe as a leader and is Obe pressing, but Kylian Mbappe was not doing that, but because he believes that or no they say Obe 90. And they no Obe goal. So these coaches, a striker. Now won't mean pressing. Only a pressing machine. It will be very hard say coach the ball. So some of the people do not understand why some strikers be hard. Maybe they are not giving the number of goals or more pay, but they are still more pressing in coaches in the ball. Some of the supporters and fans who doesn't understand why some coaches a winger and a typical number 10 false 9 because these players can press. List to all. And no, me catch you say Aston Villa for no. they haven't won an away game against France opposition. In fact, in the competition meetings, in their last 6 games, such away games. In the Aston Villa, list all in their last 6 continental quarterfinals, despite being the Conference League, Europa League, the fact that Omoje Conference last season or quarterfinals to free. Say what check here in the first leg in every continental and as a European final quarterfinal games biano. Omuntimi enwin the first leg. So it was very difficult, and in as much as that they have a very poor record against French teams. And with the current former PSG with a number of unbeaten runs or more, and even being unbeaten the whole season in the French league, and making a very big statement, and you check their players, desire do, they equalize the online and easy. Least of all, that is the reason why anytime America say Africans and especially young Ghana has in their catchy, they use data. Right now, apart from talent, don't use data more talent, no more use data. And say, hey, Lami Yama now can I say me? Barcelona knew that boy way or 12 years. Yamano next 5-6 years, he will become the best player. I saw a video yesterday. Desire do ni collaborate before co joining Rene Academy at a tender age like 6 years. Only at 12, 11 years. Now if he was starting or Jibo be intimidation finism. And the France national team, the federation will say this is the next generation. So who check the France national youth team now? Will go through all the ranks. And so now the first call up to the French national team last season, baby. And this is a player who signed the first professional contract in 2022, or shared the first goal, being the youngest player to born in 2005 to score a goal in the top 5 European leagues. And fast forward, also super share an European goal for Rene, being the youngest player, and some other young players break his record. And people are not even concerned about it. This is a player PSG take 50 million with add-ons close to 60 million euros. A company free a year Rene. So he's not a player who free a year the academy of PSG, but they went to buy him. At that time, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, and other clubs were linked to this boy, and he was part of France under 17 team Nomkoje Air Championship in 2022. So list to all, and now I want check it PSG game now. Omobo that total football. Omunjina faku. That is the total football now you and craft. But Luis Enrique there no, the style of play no, a bit different from Pep Guardiola. Tiki taka plus the total football. When Omoba, the 3 midfielders no more, Fabian Ruiz, João Neves, and Vitinha. Omunya Yibakwa, Obejina Sebia, you will sit in front of the defenders. The 2 midfielders now, Ombejina, the lone DM Nanimino, they will rotate. Ombeko Bebia, Ubeko, you say right side or left side. They will rotate everywhere. And especially more up front. That is if Omobo a typical number 9 striker. But if Omo striker, that is why Johan Cruyff any play coaches are Omobo that total football. Mostly Omobo force 9. Omobo players Omo force, and they maybe Omo winning game na win. They'll bring in a striker to come and bang in the goals. So that is why some prolific strikers be more they if Omo needs that pressing attitude, Omo need that all round ball, Omobo under these coaches are Omo team breno. In the one your PSG team na list all. And PSG team no have 4 on 4 teams left in the Champions League. List all. Just 4 teams playing the Champions League. This season they have the chance to make magic treble. PSG eka home. And Barcelona so eka side teams in Hubi. And list to Russia having some team La Liga na we no. After this win, Omashe 28 times in the competition this season. That is the most goals Omashe in the UEFA Champions League history. In as much as Omabo more matches this season than the previous seasons Omabo. List to all. Into check the ratings of the 3-man midfield. Nameka say it will be the battle, and if these guys are going to win the game. And now Vintinha as usual in 8.3 ratings from SofaScore. João Neves in your 7.6 and Fabian Ruiz in your 7.5. This 3-man midfield no more PSG no. They have their duty. Obia when the here. Fabian Ruiz is the master of the long balls. Mpempe na nka o ye midfielder nka first midfielder o koji ball free na defenders one or 10 year ball long pass and the winger no air running. So if PSG air ball then they need somebody to play the long balls. Vintia ensure that you good at the long balls, but Obo Joao Neves ain't good at the long balls. But Obia in the PSG team Obebo long balls no Fabian Ruiz. In general list to all, Oba check if Fabian Ruiz stacked per that game with 7.5 ratings. Obo accurate passes 56 out of 59 passes Obo list to all. So that is 95% accurate passes and then Fabian Ruiz boy. Key passes was 2 and in long balls list to all Obo 300% long balls and then Fabian Ruiz boy. Ono get that type of midfield now. Obe chinya ebetom. Inteno ne 3 attempted dribbles or ye. Nina be bakukwe no fire. One nya fouls be a team no. Now ye just one tackle and I nay in terms of the ball fan ho there. Only speed 5 is intimate stage one. And then Joao Neves in your rating of 7.6. This to and obo accurate passes 91. Passes on 91. That is accurate. About 91 out of 93 boy, which is 98%.
Who?
Joao Neves.
Okay.
In Toronto, then say, yen pass ball, yen jiji yen fa balls no, enko the line yen from my players no mumfa in take over. Yen from my wingers, yen Joao Neves or ball 91 out of 93, which is 98 accurate passes at least to a boy. And you see, there's a reason why anytime be me friend Joao Neves in goal Kante with flair. Or that machine or press it or your mom be press it on bejibo or bano intiman jibo first things or be found in Joao Neves in kwa list or your fouls on kwa 4 fouls and none of them any yellow card just like you go look at it which my your fouls be 8 no nyanya card because the fouls ning na decent fouls and most of times or tackles wa on your ball in general on your two tackles ning na was successful and the long ball side no or boy just one long ball and a back also a fire. And the man himself, Vitinha, oh no, the centerpiece of a moment for this to all. Or no, they say he's the engine, that register of the team. In the day, say Donnarumma, Akraf Hakimi, Marquinhos, and Berardo, and a William Pacho Mojibwa. He's the main 2 guy. Omodebo no Kokman say, Abrante J, nice starting, he attack. With the help of Fabian Ruiz, any Abrante and Eddie Joao Neves. So I don't know scanning baby. If there is space or the baby Joao Neves, then Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz more a bit the ball. So I don't know about more of the short passes. Then at least he played most of the passes. 152 more than any player on the field. 152 passes or boy at least name 148 and then they are successful with 97% accurate passes and Fabian Vitinha boy and no ball one long ball it wasn't successful or your one cross it wasn't successful dribbles attempted or your 2 back open and they successful and that is Vitinha boy. But you check of ratings John McGinn, Jacob Ramsey, any Boubacar Kamara, any Yuli Tielemans, all these players the only player on your match ratings now you're closer to the 3-man method of PSG was Yuli Tielemans on your 7.2 in as much as Yuli Tielemans at least because or no any assist Abrante and Dean Eddie Morgan Rangers go no shame so that assist and the man that ratings if not that John McGinn 6.9 Boubacar Kamara 6.5 Jacob Ramsey 6.6 and Abrante and Eddie Yuli Tielemans and Sunya 7.2 ratings and the midfield battle was down. PSG dominating game and in fact Lucas Digny, Pau Torres, Ezri Konza and Matikash many players are with the former Desire Day war with the former Bicha Karaskeria war any Dembele one they are not going to stop these guys from scoring. The only good thing or positive thing on Mutimi and say they stopped Ousmane Dembele from scoring. That is the only good thing and in fact they couldn't stop him from creating chances and as a providing assist for his teammate Emo Mushego. So Enra MYBET.AFRICA say this PSG Aston Villa game I see 3-1 I see 3-1 or 4-1 in this game and MYBET.AFRICA say Aston Villa definitely they are going to score because Midikambo Marco Asensio and Marcus Rashford since Omo join them every game they find ways and means to score. So PSG catch us if they really want to qualify to the semis they have to finish the game in the first leg and I know that Luis Enrique Casas and the boys may go going to Villa Park very difficult. my catch was a Juventus, Bayern Munich, Bologna. We now teams are Omuko Villa Park, Ekokolusia without Aston Villa conceding a goal. So Villa Park, if PSG lose by a long goal, I won't be surprised. But the main thing is right now PSG was 2 goals ahead. Niema Ekwe this all desire do you know with the data, statistics and scouting reporter. Omuyefa Brandon he is here to do. He's right now open round of the wingers at least all. Omo that skillful feet. They can shoot, they can dribble, they have that skill set. You know. He's one of wingers people now, but they don't have any ball runners. And when he can say he's going to be there, and with this guy and the coach of one, Vicha Kvaratskhelia, we're announcing the presence already in the Champions League. 4 goals at the PSG. They are going to do very well. And then no, it wasn't a surprise that PSG winning. In fact, I knew that the midfield battle definitely PSG was going to win. List all. And now Barcelona eche Dortmund eche 4-0. And going to this game, some of us saw say we were going to witness a lot of goals in this game because Enra Mitina Fide Suka say Barcelona ashe 32 goals in 10 games. That is before Enra game. So averagely, almost average 3.2 goals per game this season in the Champions League. And the only time our team averaged 3 goals in all the games my boy in the Champions League was Bayern Munich. And that time Hansi Flick was the coach. And Hansi Flick said, on top brought that changing pressing football, highlight that typical Germany football. On be press, on be kitabo na, on be making sure say they will stretch the game for you. They will have the players on make about that piercing passes. And to Zobe Kaya, Barcelona winning against Atletico Madrid. Remember catch was say Adibakweba Barca players team ni say they have players who potential to send pass na nam na hu ntimi nje nti no one who passes na Lami Yama boy and at least 3 players will not about for Muntem. That is piercing passes now one expecting he will play. They have Pedria Obetima Sedgman. They have Rafinha ya transforming the name Otimia Sedgman. And then Omo Frankie Diona or no very deeper Obetimia Sedgman. So playing against Barcelona is very difficult. So best stop him from scoring. Intimia Yama one say Robert Lewandowski. Ashe 40 goals. Say league ni and this is here. He will be the player of the Golden Boot. In fact, Pichichi Obetimia the top scorer in the La Liga and also overall Golden Boot in Europe. And Metmark as Tete said, he is the oldest player. Metmark said right now, but top flight football at the highest level. Although Ronaldo, any Benzema Mobo, Saudi, but are they playing at the highest level like how Robert Lewandowski ever? List all since Obe joining Barcelona, out of 38 games or 138 games? List all, about 128 games. The entire Barcelona squad no ebe to her. Apart from just the almost 11,000 minutes and some coins be that so that's not just going to 11,000 and some coins, but just Kunde and then the only player or 1 more minutes than Robert Lewandowski in the entire Barcelona squad almost set up your movie. So in as much as this when you know a blessing these guys and no ma that word no can say class A permanent no redefining a brand and Robert Lewandowski.
So I'm looking at Barca how omo rebuilding. Now me the situation Chelsea there now.
Yeah.
What is the difference? Is it not Lewandowski? You see, they have somebody who is banging in the goals.
Yeah.
Washa how many goals?
Washa 40 goals in all competition this season.
In all competition this season. But Barca fans no they bring pen omo pese oko. Do you know why?
Because Phillips or say chances.
Or say chances.
Yes.
So it means that team near young they create a lot of chances.
Yeah. But you see,
but for him, what me for assuming say Chelsea will be a obetima masa 40. Don't you think they can a narrative? Basa, me no can say it is likely so much match on league. Even aside almost tough patch no more right? Now look at Champions League. Look at what they are. So as a young team, no, obetima pick even PSG. Man, started so you're say from last season or started so you're rebuilding. This season, okay, Champions League, Edru baby, said I know struggle. He was struggling. It appears I say if you are building a young squad, the place any kwase wo di diagro e you goalkeeping and o striker.
Yeah.
Defenders ni be mistake, midfielders ni be mistake, omo be losing out of, but o striker don't ever go sir. Don't do things be that is what I actually imagine about say.
Is it?
Chelsea who create a lot of chances.
Yeah.
Chelsea will beat Lewandowski watch 40 goals. Do you think that Chelsea fighting for the title? Looking at the impressive performance Chelsea done did to say any other young team here what Europe.
Listo, you see, with how submission I think that in football, the most important rules, in as much as midfielders are important, is we go then every matches listo. So be goals, and it's a consider goal. So the important aspect, at least when a goalkeeper, or boss, saves, we be a striker, or banging goals now. But it's Robert Lewandowski, the analyst, or no type of striker, no. And yes, side strikers now, beji boy, quite chinibi. Or no, then the instant now, I say in the box, the movements. Nze no a hwe ni goal na o share no before cross no e ba be ko Rafinha ho no hwe be no ogina any baby o be run ya ball ne be to no into what check here or yeah one of the players they don't normally score goals from outside the box, mostly inside the box, and or yeah typical trained striker or you trained like who check it ne story from Poland when omdeni ba Germany omu training is on share goals. It's in inbox movement. So halana strikers now omu training in Europe for the past 10 years. And Victor Osimhen adibako abo no so ye inbox there because he's a player or from under 20 in the Nigerian under 20 and 17 or Europe in them. So omu share in that movement. So to me, Robert Lewandowski, in as much as Obian Pen list or an integral part of Barcelona squad in this season. Intermatch was that some of the Barca fans believe that when he and Enchebi Obeko. So the reason why some of the Barca fans Omo Kasa Bibrina say they believe that the rebuilding they need a young striker. Obetim Mranti way United and Yabum. That is Omo concern. They are not concerned that Lewandowski. I mean, in fact, Barca for I'm close to a lot of Barca fans, especially Omo Bo give now Lewandowski man. They don't like it. In as much as say chances penalty beba mu filise bia oma Lamine Yamal mo embo. That is Barca for some of them fans. It's not about say omu lose match o. Omu dey say na Lewandowski kura when penalty ni ba man kra ne dey won sa banta na ewo social media ne when they meet with their because right now we would even fast strike bia compare Robert Lewandowski maybe Haaland any league. Omu feel say Lewandowski abobo that he got to a time now some winning Ballon d'Or and yes. So the Barcelona fans no, they believe that when he so young kind next 10 plans so Barca fans in there and they check social media. Omo you banter with Real Madrid for now is always Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Gavi. They don't bring in Lewandowski. But what's not say analysis here. The most important player for Barcelona since or joining in the last 2-3 years, he's the most important player. What more matches will be he's been consistent. Into they don't have a problem with maybe the fans ever having some sentiment maybe when you enter we have to get a replacement. But the fans in danger say they need a replacement. And I clear say Lewandowski on Barca next year, next 2 years. Into Barca for concerns say they need a perfect replacement. Obabe replace you, and they also want Lamine Yamal to be playing the penalties. So na be that Ballon d'Or shout no on Benya. But listen to who share this Barcelona team. Apart from say Lewandowski, listen to all share a lot of goals no. Rafinha has been scoring goals. In fact, I know a game no Lewandowski a record as the first player to have 10 plus goals in the UEFA Champions League for 3 different clubs. Or you're with Dortmund, or you're Bayern Munich, and or you're with Ayetman Eddie Barca. Enra was the 28 goals I was here Dortmund since Ofriho. Anytime we should be sure moto. And the list of what share Rafinha this season the Champions League. Enra America said I think that he will be able to break Lionel Messi's record for Barcelona being the player watching most goals in the Champions League campaign or a season. 19 goals contribution. And then no catch you Lamine Yamal Rafinha with 12 goals and 7 assists for breaking Messi record and obviously certain facts. So in the Champions League, Washa 12 goals are provided a 5 assists. In the La Liga this season, list all Rafinha actually 13 goals, why 8 assists. Very good for a player or needing a Rafinha. Yen check Lamine Yamal so record for Barcelona this season and the statistics. In the Champions League list all Washa 4 goals are provided 3 assists. That is 7 goals contribution in the Champions League this season from that young chap. In the La Liga list, was 6 goals and were provided 11 assists. So, checking the number of assists, Rafinha, they have a prolific striker or converting that goals in the moment. And they are also scoring. Until the other Barca team, actually goes and say, almost front three, everybody can score. Obi actually go. Unlike the Chelsea project now can. Uyu Kopama. Osha 14 goals in the Premier League this season. The second player, Oye behind or no, why? Nicholas Jackson. How many weeks and the Nicholas Jackson pray for my Chelsea forecast say or Murphy Jackson. And yesterday is a striker Murphy say on share goals and on your proper striker. But yesterday on the world the second. But we check him out Doeki. We check it Jadon Sancho. We no more than 5 goals or 6 goals this season for Chelsea in all competition. So apart from say Ubenya a striker list or banging goals, you will need other players to be scoring. In as much as that time not Drogba or no she goes. Check the number of midfielders who she go. At that time John Terry, a season central defender, no it matches 7 goals, all from set pieces.
But
Drogba.
Sincerely, if you look at me as a Chelsea team where if Chelsea had a striker like me as a Costa, Drogba, Lewandowski, do you think say Cabana will share double figures?
Oh, of course, that be last season. Nicholas Jackson, double figures.
But in terms of that numbers,
yes.
So what's your 14?
Yes, they've been creating a chance. It'll be an Chelsea problem. Poacher. But listen, they have games Ubeko. The passes now be born. Ain't mean finding Umakano. That is the reason why this season Lamine Yamal and Rafinha. I'm afraid people are not mentioning Lewandowski no, because the clutch moments now Barca the winning games no. As scored by Lamine Yamal and why? Any Kopama. Rafinha. Same like Chelsea. Who are just a game no aqua we no. We here go no. That is where Kopama was stepping. So Obian said Chelsea they need a prolific striker. Obama double figures. Because if Kopama double figures, na Jackson double figures. Na at least Pedro Neto, Noni Madueke, maybe Mikhailo Modric and say Jadon Sancho. All these wingers, Omu goals and assists, 8 or 10 goals a season. List all. Ubetim no says we say yes. Ubetim actually more than 60 goals that very season. And so they all kind of there. No, but I think that this Barca team list all didn't solve a job because of how they defend. Press your man. They have press resistance players. They will omit you from the as a list of your quality players. And I'm looking forward to how PSG anybody share that midfield battle will be a bit crazy. How maybe rainbow highline, but if Barca could win highline, I know that definitely PSG will find a way out make break it that highline. And the game either. So to me, I think that yesterday it was obvious that PSG was going to win, and it was also obvious say Barcelona is a win the game.
Okay, so me most take my neck out semi-finals. No, the 4 teams in the Hona.
I think that Barca. I think the Barca call already. Your call is going to be very hard for Dortmund to overturn that deficit. PSG, I think that they will go, but maybe the return leg via Parker. If a core extra time, I won't be surprised. But would
no. You see,
yes. So I think that PSG.
Okay,
go,
PSG,
yes,
Barca,
and I think the other teams,
Inter, Bayern, and
I think Inter will go.
Inter, Madrid, Arsenal.
I think Arsenal will go.
Arsenal, okay.
Yes, I think Champions League final that is Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, and Barcelona, Inter Milan. I think with the Barcelona, Inter Milan, one game here.
So nobody will do a comeback. You don't think any team will do a comeback?
But I mean, Real Madrid ain't me a comeback. I had 3 goal league there.
Okay.
And with the power Arsenal for defend this all. I'm not saying that it's not possible. It's possible, but for me, with where I stand and Arsenal, I don't think it's very possible at this moment.
Bodo Glimt and Lazio near ball. Lyon and Manchester United. Rangers and Bao, Tottenham Hotspur and Trans Frankfurt. Race for a top four. It appears a lot of teams, especially Trans Frankfurt, Rangers, they are all fighting for to get into the Champions League. Man United, they have won. Conference League, Legia, Chelsea, Real Betis, Jagiellonia, Celje, Fiorentina, Jagaden, SK Rapid. Matches with Monafe.
Yes, I think with the Europa League, you said this season it has been one of the leagues. Most teams, especially the Tottenhams, the Man United, they need this competition. They need to at least win to make sure so qualify for the Champions League next season. They need to win this competition. With Bodo Glimt, any last game on Bebo, I think Bodo Glimt maybe do more, especially when they are playing home. Their home pitch near Adebakwa is different from most of the pitches in Europe. Into our clubs in the cover Mobre, Roma, Man United, big clubs are cover Abre. And then against Lazio, one thing on mine said in their last 16 games on my ball, home, they move 11, almost 3 goals or more. Into their one team are only pitch in the ball on the ball. Into every time they are out of 16, they move 11, they have averaged at least 3 goals. Now if you head to the 16, meaning at least every game they are no goal there or share one home. So today it will be a difficult game for team friend Lazio. Even though the Lazio form now on and off, especially meaning say if their mindset is also on the Europa, no, so almost beat me the Champions League man, because in their league phase, or in their Serie A, their performance have been very poor. And then we can Rome team here win against Atlanta. Their performance has been so poor. I think this will be a crucial game for Lazio. So Lazio person qualify for the semi-final, meaning a draw or Bodo Glimt. But if they are to lose, send a record back in Bodo Glimt, say they score 3 or more goals. If they are to get that 3 goals against Lazio, it will be a very difficult game for Lazio in the return leg. With Rangers, anyway, Bilbao game on Bebo is one of the games I think a lot of attention, especially when it comes to the Europa League. Usha Bilbao mostly in 7 games on Makwa win about to make it clean sheet. To mean anytime on Makwa win, they are a team they get to concede. So what about 7 name move back to make it clean sheet? It's a very big worry for your team, especially with knockout phases to see. Rangers is here one team young conceding games almost conceding papa. We had their last 5 games they've conceded at least a goal per each game. Into Rangers, 1 yard there can go back could be beating their 20 points. Into to be one game I'm expecting goal happening, because Rangers share goals or conceding. Bilbao also to share goals or away, but no one thing M1 is away keeping clean sheet at the back a quarter man. But in their last game against Villarreal or La Liga, a last away game with Timiko Piki clean sheet. So I think they will use that same type of style to keep a clean sheet against Villarreal. They will send it into this game. This game will be a very crucial game. So MYBET.AFRICA, I'm looking at a 1.5 for both teams to score, or also a handicap of 2 for team friend Bilbao, because they will surely concede. But I think they can pull up a draw. Tottenham Frankfurt, it will be one of the most difficult games of the night. Angie, I and Adrian said, the Europa competition. Wakase in every season, be on the second season or the trophy. Say every trophy be a fan. It's only the Europa League naka. Now the Europa League naka, so meaning it's a team on the Bono, Frankfurt. They are one of the most difficult teams to meet in any European competitions. You know their performance in the last 2 European competitions. On board one way, papa. One thing this game, a bit me I promise you be a OTA, and they say these 2 teams they average at least 2+ goals in almost 70% of their matches on my ball in the Europa competition. These are 2 high scoring teams. These are 2 teams that they also get to concede. They say, share this game. Tottenham will go home. They will try to get the goals or win. But this is a very crucial game. The last time we share in 2022, it ended 3-2. Tottenham average of over 2.5. Likely say boy in this game. Both teams to score. And so likely say beat me about a handicap of 2 for Tottenham. That is the safest option I made me for, because I don't think Tottenham will lose by 3-0 at home. But both teams to score 1.5 over 2.5. One thing at this game, Ebema emu ayede. The most controversial game I think will be a Ben against Robert Nani TV one Lyon against Man United. The fixture no enya that hype. Kopim said the comment from Onana and also the comment from Matic. and aba be ya masisi ano enyama bebre akọ mu yehwe into before you go into the game no you who the comments coming up. I think to me some of the comments that were being brought up, especially Onana, the full message or posty or Twitter no, was or X or something I was very impressed about it. But the last comment on Sabia, we winning a trophy, lifted a trophy with Man United now. Some people cannot talk same. It was something I think it was an off type of thing because we lifted an FA Cup trophy with Man United and a Carabao trophy with Man United. That is something that Man United fans know. Their standards, any Nyaman is how FA Cup Carabao. They don't even want to recognize it as trophies because they were winning the Champions League. They won the league almost 18 times, 11 times, and they've been winning. They've won it 3 times in a row. In the end, it's Obeka say, "I lifted trophy, no being lifted here." This was a match about the Premier League, Senior Boy. We lifted 2 Premier League trophies with Chelsea. Even the contribution of Man United was also key. I remember his comment on my say the culture between Chelsea and Man United are a whole different thing. At Chelsea, everybody is expecting you to win trophies. Everybody is expecting you to play well and lift trophies. But Man United is more about the marketing side. Or more winning trophies and begging in Yama. So after the post-Ferguson era, that has been something. And who players will be moving to Man United and jump is almost free. So he passing a comment about who he said Onana. Yeah, both goalkeepers or my bomb who they were Man United are on count. Now they raised a whole lot of concern. Into meaning Saka at the image in the better Swamamia. With Man United goalkeepers or Maba, that is Peter Schmeichel, your friend is saying Van der Sar any friends and Bates any Digiamo. Percentage ratio, Bibiamu, Ampa, the match kind is true. Onana has been one of the worst among this 3. Among this women find 4, and it's something he said it based on said the comment or Unyafi Onana, which he felt it wasn't something good. And you know, this game a lot of spotlight, and they're going into the game. No, we think it will be a very crucial game. Lyon one team in their last 10 home games, they moved 7 against English clubs. They are mostly ended in a draw and ended on a level type of way scoreline. In TNA. Man United will be going into this game, so they need to replicate that performance at England teams. Anytime you visit France, any Lyon Bebono, or Mutimi show that performance. But Man United, one good history or war against Lyon is every time you only Lyon Bebo in their last 5 meetings, Lyon and share that either is home or away. And they moved 2, the last 2 on board. United to keep it clean sheet, scoring 1 goal against Lyon. In TNA, Obianim say going into this game, and I Man United beat me, Ahreson beat me. But their last 2 meetings, it goes by, and so it was also ended in a draw, which was a 1-1 and also a 2-2. I think today's game likely 1.5 is a bit meable, but I'm not seeing Man United winning in France. The game, yes, it will be between 2 tough managers are coming into this game. And him say with Matic and Onana, they are not people that they will be meeting maybe in between the pitch. I make us maybe a tackle or something will come up. One is in the post and one is playing on the field. Adebakwa Matic waiting maybe to silence the game. They say maybe a crucial goal against Man United, that would be something to beat me. But Onana and all eyes will be on him. He needs to be at his best and make sure say the game or more common. Beat me a crucial point to prove everybody wrong. Say Ampa starts need to be a back. He said he's one of the worst Man United goalkeepers. Nene he could prove a point, but I think the game will end in a 1.5. Corners in so idea a bit me by ye. Yenhwe Conference League games because Betis surely they will win today. They've shown that in 2025 their performance are top notch and their performance no a bit me akuye. With Liga also any Chelsea game no. I think Enzo Maresca comment obema no. Chelsea fans need be fool say why is he saying that thing? But if say obo the Europa leagues, obo the Conference leagues, you could see say one, they're traveling to this small maybe in quotes small countries to play these matches, and also their fans, the way Omube show up, especially so only the big teams say boy anything they will do to frustrate a big team they are the back home team here, especially if they are playing home first. Opposite sa game no utiminya result. Send you about fear. Unimse obeshe no but utiminya good results. That is what they do. Into his comment is something I don't see anything wrong with it. But sometimes the context of some of these messages are coaches need ban. we put them in a wrong place. And until then, who say people are complaining, say I didn't na Chelsea are boy in European competitions and then in same but say we video now so now you could see say a stadium I say and you say nipa ne go as I saw a jana red light pan trying to make sure say they frustrate the opponent in every ways. And him said this season Chelsea Asia Panathinaikos something similar is here. But these are players send I'm a boss so in the Champions League when you can. These young players coming up now. They've been able to take that thing out of them and they go into big games and play as normal as they want to do.
I mean, person in business are the way. Are we sure we really appreciate what we are doing as a football club? We are Chelsea fans in Tinamame used to win. Do we really appreciate what we are doing? And do we agree, sir? Whatever we are doing, there will be a good result because we can mention a lot of Liverpool. They had to go through 30 years of what? Zero. So they got a particular coach. He started implementing the idea. It took him 4 years to win the first trophy. Today, season one. We are confident to mention Liverpool. Say Liverpool are contenders. We've seen Arsenal. They even went to the lowest, even under this same coach. They were worse than what Chelsea is doing. Yeah, Onoba Efofona, he had a very mature squad, so they were able to win FA Cup against I think Chelsea.
Yes.
Then we started to rebuilding. We saw all that happened. Then Obeyewe, Man City. We've seen even Barca. We've seen Paris Saint-Germain. Is it that we are refusing to accept, say we need to go through a rough patch? And I say it's just that we are having a coach on your good, so we need to let him go. The reason why I make us say, Ninsembia Okano, to suit the current situation. Now you use the past situation to judge the current situation.
I think with Enzo Maresca, with this Chelsea board, Todd Bowley Muninas, I say we MYBET na Hakada. Say Chelsea fans, sorry to say this, but in quote, Chelsea fans are say sports children and a sport child. They've been through the Roman Abramovich era where chop and change. They just voice out something. Yeah, Pamu coach. Now voice out something. Yeah, taught the Fernando Torres. Yeah, taught that this. Yeah, taught that this about team. Project now Todd Bowley Moyen. One thing they say, if you want something to succeed, you need time, and nothing just comes out anyway. You who said they've been complaints, and then omo tonkola and omo yesi, and nay yet na ebo Barcelona abaso. Yet na ebo Paris Saint-Germain abaso. And it's something that you need a good system to make things work. Abramovich time, those things were working because they were experienced. And players ni yo makumembo say okay apamo Andres Biavas yeah they maybe Dimatu by Embo man normal ball.
And ironically all our big trophies na a coach is sacked
yes
they're in the middle now coach na Ababe to aso
yes inti Ababe it's sad na ka Chelsea fans be dream inti ene say Enzo Maresca go through a bad patch we want to question the owners, we want to question desire dey Vincent Bonidi any data Paris Saint-Germain Kotono. In August, Chelsea were in the conversation for Desire Day, and Obeko Twitter check it. There were a big account on Chelsea. They were bashing, said they shouldn't buy the boy because I didn't. Yes, we shouldn't buy these boys. I didn't say. But when they go to other clubs, don't perform here. We wish said they were in our team. So sometimes it takes time. Sometimes in Yama Timiye, but once Chelsea has been a club. They are used to winning. They are used to every 2 seasons. They are Chelsea G at least a major trophy. Chelsea G a trophy. So going 2 seasons or 3 seasons senior, they've not tested it. Frustration basing. Vincent Bobby Bisubat na kwame biso emesere. Say Chelsea who Hansi Flick we your friends and Luis Enrique no mjai mo mko. Nyame ani mko ani. Minjin they say if Hansi Flick, Luis Enrique were handling this Chelsea team in combat me do the standard of meeting their clubs are doing. I didn't America say this coaches Hansi Flick echo into a Barcelona setup. But my friend saying they will just keep quiet and make him do what he wants to do. In TNA, Hansi Flick by Barcelona or highline Tyree. Any nyama koi any nko Chelsea no boss highline and go back mienu fi mu a nke dede beba say masa reverse back ye mpesa ade no nka Chelsea fans say mpene ma no kra but any Barcelona team no boss any obebo and he has the quality to do what he wants to do. One thing a Barcelona team no one is say they have two sharp wingers who would assist and give you goals. At this moment Chelsea like esa anya man. Paris Saint-Germain team Luis Enrique, time the Americans say Luis Enrique by Chelsea team, and he would can do the same thing on the Paris Saint-Germain here because an attack of Nicolas Jackson, Noni Madueke, and Mudryk would give you the likes of Dembele, more style of player, but they can rotate and be fast. But Bisan who said, can they give you that goals? Dembele, Moma, and Derby. So sometimes a project can fit into a manager so well. Say you wish say in Kamikala fan. Maybe Senior Luis Enrique take him the second season. Chelsea maybe to take him 3 or 4 seasons. It is sometimes Enzo Maresca were born home day, but it do baby on here time. But means we do baby. I have a lot of questions about his decision and things he do.
So you obviously owning Kolana Yejumasa, you make mistake.
Yes.
What about Chelsea time and where we are? You know, say Mike Listen, what the neighbor says, you obey Yejumano. You have your John Terry. Say him, but the Akolabi crack can John Terry one coach. You don't have any problem, but you have Didier Drogba. And you have now so the only thing you are aware and say good training standards. Try and motivate them, keep them so very happy,
yes.
And they will deliver for you. But now you don't know. I was say match biya ubeko biya no. You need to weigh why na mentally are you ready for this match. You need to do a lot to so maybe say somebody like Caicedo, we are blessed, we are happy say what to me either a picking area. Yes. There was a time Enzo Maresca wanted to build Lavia, Caicedo and Enzo. First game it was solid. Everybody saw the picture. He wanted to have Fofana, Koa, Rhys James and Cucurella.
Yes, but
it was working. It was working. But the moment Abaku free Muna, I always say how he wanted to build now. What just insane. Now Osaya rebuilding Nibium. So our situation, I don't know why people don't want to understand. And even upon all this, we are still around the top 4 way.
Yes, Chelsea starter. So I said our boss he was trying to build that midfield terrain. And then you above Vertinia, Fabian Ruiz, and we Joan Neves said they are battling midfield, they are doing well. And no Enana Enzo Maresca Pesoye. But the only thing that was destroying Sa style was wingers who can contribute to goals. And we need that type of wingers. And I also love your injury needs to be one big factor. And we need but I think Enzo Maresca in this Chelsea setup are born home. So Ushe starts across her. And in the who starts be name one say you the world best goalkeepers. We are friends and Sanchez it also 5 about saves on the pitch. So Uyi EPL starts on XGs goals expected. I don't remember so at Chelsea and then the second it was so Uyi progressive passes, long passes, way through passes at Chelsea. So any conversation I'll be boss in me say ball playing be and Chelsea woman. But the only thing our boss when say we don't have a striker to make that process a final product. And no because any say Chelsea were Guedes, Chelsea were Lewandowski, Chelsea were Haaland, Chelsea were a friend is a Harry Kane, no more 30 goals. You wouldn't see Sanchez chances or than errors because more bought 5 goals. Now me even say Sanchez I had 2 errors, then the goals about Chelsea winning 5-2 on my pong. So it will take a good striker to make Enzo Maresca project complete.
All right.
Which is something as a Chelsea team here. So in a game, I see Chelsea winning with all the pressure. Liga also for 1 person moment, but I think it will be a very difficult game. Maybe Chelsea winning and a 1.5 here.
All right. Yeah, chama yɛn hwɛ de aka na na afei yɛn fa us no mra.
Yeah. I think that my mention few game, but Lyon any Man United game. No. At least I think that UEFA enya adi omope the necessary attention for the Champions League. I mean,
The
they
Europa,
are
no.
Yakobo Champions League games, the Europa League match everybody on Thursday. Air trendy. I mean, it tells you something that the PR has worked enough. But I think that the Lyon players no will come in strong. I won't be surprised if Onana Jiboa, the whole Lyon ultras, but they are one of the ultras, the longest ultras in European football and one of the loudest. Onana, and then Nobecheno, Bo Biako Onana Subia, the Ombebu, no, a lot of insults will come. And I know that if Onana consider go back, or at least you will see the cameras, Sebeto Andrew Onana. So. But one thing about United is United in the Europa League this season, they are the best team arguably. Omunyon Lusu game. And you see, we are saying say Lyon Asia United are obre. In fact, the 208 are United. G Champions League John Terry Kobo penalty or Tito United G Champions League. Omu face team Eddie Lyon in the Champions League. But you see, all the games on boy Omu share 4 times. Lyon ain't me share United that. But the fact is, if Man United echo France or team ko share Lyon, ni best air draw.
Okay.
So in 204 United arguably no yet bigger than Lyon. Oko France only Lyon eko ball 2-2. That game vanished on the board 2 goals in the moment. In 208 almost also call Lyon home. Oba she Lyon Old Trafford the call final call GN. Omo eko ball 1-1 ewo Lyon. That game Karim Benzema was with Lyon on a shake winner Abranta and the Carlos Tevez. Everybody take Edema Lyon. This game it's going to be very difficult, but this season United have been scoring. Away games be on board in the Europa League. Be on board. United so unbeaten record in the Europa League. List all it's going to be very difficult. But I mean this game I see it to be a full-time draw. In as much as Lyon for Omolusu and Nespiyama and Malik Fofana, which are 2 young players are Omobo Mutin. But then I expect Ryan Sheki, Lacazette mo any players be to say this more Argentina guy be. Now no Argentina and Brazil want to share go. Thiago Amanda.
Yeah.
These are players that could share this United defense. Share the near. But you see one thing about United team is in recent times, last game, defensively they try as much as possible. Say if they are not scoring, consider going to check it. United list or in the last 3 games, Onyan consider go against Leicester City. Sorry, in the last 3 games, or consider 2 games. Onyan consider go no. The game or consider goal was against Nottingham Forest. This game I see it to be a full-time job, but both teams to score highly possible. It was a game. And let's go Bilbao and Rangers. A game to watch. Rangers this is a list or more for me in terms of now day or match Celtic shadow or match Dundee Omukochi Fenerbahce Ekoshe Fenerbahce. But despite the fact that Omulusu home, I think we quite have Rangers in the list or a very bad home record. Last 5 games home Glasgow ni normal list E-box. Ni normal lusu. But yes, so omukọ away omutim kokọ wini. Omukọ away ko chef na bachi. Ekọ away kokọ share Celtic. Ekọ away ekọ share Dundee. And omutim afima Hebenian. I mean team and the Hebenian. Ekọ chine share. But you see, uko basket krum ha Bilbao list all. Unim said this season Europa League no you be hosting war. Summer mess. Atletico Bilbao for home stadium. So they are very much hopeful that they have to be in the finals and also win the Europa League. I mean, for the first time in my career, my club history. So, I'm very eager say this season, but Europa League finals or your home, they have to be in the finals. And would I let Rangers for bad home record now? At least, I think that I'll go in for a double chance for Atletico Bilbao and Asebia a handicap. But I mean, I see over 1.5 goals in that game. Finally, my main rest of the Conference League. Chelsea, Legia, the team at least or home record, or more very fine record, especially at home. We check here the last time they lost at home. Actually, party man did Lugano on the show. Since then, I'm about over almost 15 games from lose home. But I mean, Chelsea in the Akakwe said, "Wapake car kesiye, ewo baby e pake picanto." Definitely, almost a big. I mean, gun ewo sa Conference League. So definitely, if Legia for no, Legia was often a very good home record. Whatever they are winning their domestic league, I still see them with Chelsea winning this game. Real Betis, anytime and the Jagiellonia. I think that is going to be a straight win for Real Betis. I mean, they are on form. They want to win something for the first time, European trophy for the first time for the club trophy. So Antonio Mo and the East Coast, they want to make a record for the club, going for a double chance for Real Betis. And Fiorentina, definitely a double chance for them as well. It was a game we stole.
Okay, yeah, far into an
okay, internet me odds no. Me share Chelsea game no. Chelsea win and over 1.5. Over Lyon and Man United 1.5 and a corners over 8.5. And Tottenham Frankfurt over 2.5. Both team to score. Fiorentina win or draw 1.5. Bordeaux Glimt to score against Lazio and Real Betis to win. Into code no 72 KY 72 KY.
Yes, my daily chops no first game Legia Warsaw and a Chelsea game no a straight win for Chelsea. Bodo Glimt Lazio game no over 1.5 goals in that game. Real Betis and Jagiellonia game no a straight win for Real Betis. Tottenham Hotspur and Frankfurt double chance for Tottenham Hotspur. Celje and Fiorentina game no a double chance for Fiorentina. And Olympic Lyon and Manchester United game no over 8.5 corners in that game. Code no CZKY.
Okay, me call Chelsea 2 up. That's early payout. Chelsea early payout. That's Chelsea win. Bodo Glimt in Lazio over 1.5. Rangers Atletico Bilbao over 1.5. Fiorentina away win. Nina no early payout. So take note. Real Betis so home win. Then your early payout. Tottenham Hotspur and Frankfurt over 1.5. And Lyon and Manchester United over 1.5. I mean, I don't do me a china. Saba. A china Friday. You have a bola sawa. Na ya sorry so. OT Vincent can Benedict can. My bet and a summer senior did you my dino. A brew. Asaka ha. And yasem kitu akra. Yakra.